has been neutralized. Now, generally, that word is used when someone is dead. That person is no longer a threat.
Okay, hello everyone.
The word that law enforcement tends to use when
Just waiting for some viewers.
someone who's a cartel
Let
member
me put up the thumbnail here.
is no longer a threat. So that's what the word that's being used by law enforcement that he's been neutralized, that the person, the shooter, has been neutralized.
So,
We expect that we're going to hear a lot more.
an insane story developing here. Donald Trump appears to be shot at a rally in Pennsylvania. All right, hey everyone. So yeah, this is an insane story that's developing right now. I'm getting my thumbnail up, and I'm gonna bring up I guess a YouTube live stream, but just really incredible. What's going on? 12 viewers already. Wow. So at a rally in Pennsylvania, Donald Trump was shot. It appeared. No news sources want to say this yet. I don't care enough not to say it. But Donald Trump, there were multiple 8 to 12, someone said, shots heard at this rally. And then after the very first shot was heard, Donald Trump with his hand covers his ear. He touches his ear and his neck, and then he falls to the ground. He like ducks for cover, and then of course all the Secret Service get over him and stuff. And then the Secret Service circle him and bring him off stage, and he kind of does this fist bump thing, which was extremely successful because this photo that they got was just insane. But he does a fist bump, and he has blood on his ear and splattered across his face. And it looked like from the photo, to me, I don't know why no one else is saying this, but it looks like they shot the top of his ear and they just missed. They were just inches away from just shooting into his brain, is what it looked like to me. Obviously, I'm no expert on like shooting and all that, so maybe maybe something else happened, right? Maybe his hand got shot and then he touched his ear for some reason to hear into his earpiece, and that's why it was all bloody. But there was also blood on his face. It looked like to me that the top of his ear got shot and it splattered across his face. Just insane. I'm trying to pull up some news feed here. So let's see. Here it is, CBS News. So Panic, that magazine, that the shooter has died. That they killed the shooter. I'm gonna share my screen now here. Here we go. Here's the good stuff. Because they did say he was like, oh my God, look at that.
So as Margaret
Look
said,
at his ear right
Democrats and
there.
Republicans coming up with
Oh,
statements
they
tonight showing
definitely shot that.
solidarity
That's
at
not
this
just
American moment
that was,
of
his
attempted
hand
violence
shot,
and
and then he touched
possible
his ear.
assassination attempt of former
And
president also
then,
weighing in.
And the reason
then
I underscore what our
whatever,
colleague Scott
it got
McFarlane
on
was
his
saying in
ear.
terms of a
No, that was
catastrophic
definitely
failure of
his ear
security is
being
this
shot
was
for
not
sure.
unexpected.
Just an
That is the
insane
point. The
situation
Secret
that's going
Service
on right now.
was already on
I,
edge. All U.S. law
And you've been
enforcement
reporting for
in my
weeks that there's
lifetime,
been
there
a,
hasn't
there's
been
been
a serious
sense of on
assassination
edge
attempt. The last time
throughout
there
the
was
world, but
any
especially at U.S. military
truly
bases.
serious
well, certainly,
assassination
but
attempt
even just our Pat
like
Mention was
this.
reporting earlier this
Well, the
morning
last time
ahead
someone
of
actually
Milwaukee.
got
Any
shot,
mass gathering these
a
days is
presidential
of high
candidate actually
concern
got
because
shot
of the threat
in
environment.
an
And you saw
assassination
how
attempt
quickly they rushed the
was
stage. They
Bobby
were there
Kennedy.
on edge, like you said. We actually have new
In
cell phone video that
1968. That
shows
was
what
the
appears to
last
be the
time, and that
shooter
was
down
successful.
on a
But that was the last
rooftop.
time
Now,
anyone
this
was
is
even shot.
consistent with
I can't
information
tell
we're
you though.
getting
I
from
think the
federal
last
sources
time,
saying that the gunman
it was
possibly
actually Ronald
fired from
Reagan.
an elevated
And he was
position. Let's take a
president
look
at
at
the
this
time. It was
video.
Ronald Reagan in 1981.
It
But
appears
yeah,
that we're
I
seeing
just think,
someone.
so Secret Service says that the gunman has been neutralized.
someone on
So
a
what
roof
that
there,
typically means when, you know, law
potentially this
enforcement
is someone
uses
who was
this is,
outside the
it
security
typically
perimeter.
means
I'm going to bring in our reporter,
that,
Olivia Rinaldi. Olivia,
that
what can you tell us?
they
We've been getting
died,
some of your video
right?
in
And
the
that's what the
newsroom here.
Atlantic is
What did
saying.
you see? What did you hear?
But you know, neutralized can just
Adriana,
mean
it was a
captured and
terrifying
stuff. That
moment.
doesn't necessarily
You know,
have to
Trump was
mean
probably a
dead.
few minutes into his remarks, and all
But
of us were
yeah,
waiting
let's
for
read some
a
comments
vice
here. I
presidential
don't know
announcement.
what's, you know, I
Instead, we
can't
heard
believe what's
successive
going on and all
loud
that.
noises, loud bangs that were playing.
Okay, people are
Um,
accusing me of being the
it
shooter.
sounded
This
like
video is
shots
definitely getting
immediately took
demonetized.
cover. I pulled out my phone and I started
Sorry.
recording. You can hear my
Yeah,
voice
this
there,
is
pretty
just
shaky.
truly
You could start
incredible
to hear
situation.
Secret
All right, so
Service
no one is saying
also through
anything of
Trump's
substance,
microphone
which I
trying to get
absolutely
him down
get.
on the ground.
Yeah.
We were
Oh
down
yeah.
for
Also,
probably, it felt like a
someone
lifetime. It was probably
more
like 30 seconds or
people in
so.
the crowd
And then I popped my head up and I could see
were
Donald
shot,
Trump
and one
surrounded by
died. So
security
one
and Secret Service
died
and pumping
from
his
this
fist. And he wouldn't,
situation.
they were trying to get him
Um,
off the stage and he was resisting them a little bit and putting his fist up in the air.
Let's see. All right.
After that
I
happened, they
thought
cleared
CNN
him.
had an
We could hear
update,
the
but it
motorcade
wasn't. Two
leave
people
right
dead
away.
now. Two
Our
people dead,
security personnel was with us as
including
well.
suspect.
We had all gotten down.
Including
We just found
suspect
the
of the
fallen
shooting
and a
died.
couple of pieces of equipment also fell
Law
down with him.
enforcement concerned
He got down
attack
on the
on
ground.
Trump may have
Chaos ensued
been
after
a
that. I was
serious
looking at the
attempt on the
pictures
former
to the left
president's life.
of where Trump was.
Yeah, you think
And you
they
could
shot
see
him at his head.
people cleared out of there. You could see the
I'm just
blood on the
reading
punchers
what
as
I'm seeing
well.
on the
And I
news here.
watched police unfold yellow
But
quarantine
this
tapes and
photo
place there.
that they got, I mean,
It was
oof, it is
shocking
just
and it was
insane.
scary.
I
Reporters
don't know
that
what
I talked to, I
CBS
mean, we're
is
at these rallies
reporting.
multiple times a week. I was just at one in Doral, Florida. It's the unimaginable.
But look at
but
that.
it's
Look
something
at
we
Trump. He
prepare
just
for,
looks
and it's
absolutely
something that,
disheveled
as Margaret was saying,
after
security
he
personnel
got
prepare for.
shot. It looks like
But
him, and you
overall,
can
it's
see
a
that the
very,
Secret
very
Service
tragic
was around
event
him,
that happened here
protecting
today.
him. And then he does his
It's
fist
something
bump,
you
and
can
the
prepare
crowd
for,
goes
but
wild.
never really be
But
ready
that
for.
photo
Olivia Rinaldi,
really
thank you for that
is going to
report
be,
from
you
the
know,
ground.
in the history books
Margaret,
of that fist
this is
bump
at a time, as you were
in the
saying,
air.
where the
I mean,
threat
that
has
was
never been
there,
higher.
right there. Someone got
Exactly, and
a
on many
really incredible
fronts,
photo of that.
foreign and domestic. But I wanted to underscore and come back
When
to
it, I mean,
when
I
I
don't,
said this wasn't
whatever. I don't
unexpected, I
want to
meant
go
because of that threat
really
environment. But I wanted to go
into
to the
the
specific
political
language
side of this, just
that was in
because
a report our
you
Pat
know
Milton
this
put out earlier today.
probably has
She
no
obtained the
effect
joint
right on the
threat
election,
assessment
or
that was
very
in
little,
preparation
just
for the
because of the
RNC that's just
partisanship
about to get
of
underway
this
in
nation right
Milwaukee,
now.
that large Republican
But you know,
gathering.
definitely,
And at that time,
it
law enforcement
definitely
said
doesn't hurt him.
no
I
credible
think this makes it
specific
all more
threats were
likely, you know, putting the
identified at the
attention
time
back
in
on
the
Trump. I think
assessment.
it makes
But
it
there
all
was
more
a
likely
warning that the
that he
RNC could be
wins.
viewed as an attractive target due
But
to the
it's really
symbolic
just
nature of the
sad
political
that stuff
convention.
like this happens,
So they
you know,
were
in this
putting out a
country. Like
general
the crowd
warning
started
to be
chanting
on
USA,
alert
USA
in
after. It's
Milwaukee,
like,
where a
really?
lot of those Secret Service agents
You know, in
are
this country, what, that
concentrated
just
right now.
happens?
The Secret
But
Service is
I
with the
really
45th
think, you know,
president and
oh, look at
Republican
that ear.
nominees, who we're looking at
But
ushering him off stage in that photo.
I
You can
really
see
think
him with his
we
arms
are
around those
entering a sort of
officers,
dystopian
encircling him.
age of our politics here.
They
I mean,
are with him at all times, his
there's a
detail.
book called
But
The Last
I'm just
Election by
underscoring
Andrew
here that
Yang.
the FBI,
And,
Secret
you know,
Service,
if you read
DHS,
it, it's
the
just
Milwaukee Police
really,
Department, Southeastern
you know,
Wisconsin Threat
mind-blowing,
Analysis
just
Center, all
really
of them right now
incredible.
out in Wisconsin
The
are on
story,
high
I mean,
alert
it's a really
because
good
of
book,
this
but
political
you know,
violence,
this really
domestic
reminds me of it. The
violent
last election, like
extremism, which means
assassination,
somebody
so many
radicalized
people
here
are
at home,
assassinated just
and
like
the
this,
terror threat.
and
So this
whatever. I
is
mean,
an
but
environment where we are
you know,
all
when
on
stuff
alert. We have
starts
to learn
to
more about
become
that
common,
shooter who has
assassination
apparently
attempts,
been
that's when you know
neutralized, as
we're
we've been
heading
reporting.
in the wrong
They'll want to
direction.
understand his
But my thoughts when
motivations,
it comes to the
any
suspect,
connections he might
I
have,
doubt they're even
whether he
like
was a
into
lone wolf.
politics that much, or you know,
Any other
a
details,
Biden
as our
supporter. I
Sam
definitely
Vinograd
doubt
and
that
others
whatever they're going
who
to
are
vote,
operators
that they
can
were
give better
planning on voting
context
for
to.
Joe
But I just want to
Biden.
make sure
I
we put into
just a
context
crazy,
that there was a warning that went out as early as
crazy
this morning about the
person,
potential for
you know,
violence
lunatic,
at the Republican convention. As
maybe
we can
like
expect, there will be a similar
some
warning
sort of
at the
like,
DNC when it gets
you
underway in
know,
August.
A
communist
warning,
or
and here we
something.
are, political
I don't
violence
know.
unfolding at a political rally in America. Scott
right.
McFarland was there. He was
TBC, this
ushered
is
out
Tester.
by security
I
personnel. We have him
can't
now on the
hate
phone.
liberals like
Scott?
you anymore because I don't want that hate to do what it did to the shooter. I'm so sorry for it. Yeah, it's fine.
Scott, if you can hear me, go ahead. ahead.
What am I doing in front of him?
Can you dial into that?
Someone
We've lost Scott McFarland.
is confirmed
but
that it can't be
I'll bring it
staged.
back to
I'm
our
not
discussion
accusing you with
here
super
and
liberals.
summarize what we know so far for anyone
Yeah,
joining us
I mean,
now.
I won't lie.
Shots have rung out
I'm
at
very
a rally in
skeptical of
Butler
all
County,
like the
Pennsylvania, where
like
President
what
Trump was addressing
the
a crowd
news just
of
feeds us
thousands,
and
something
stuff
that
like
he
that,
does day
and what
in
we
and day
hear.
out. These
So I
events
definitely wasn't ruling
have
out that
happened
it was
so much. The
staged.
security
Just because of this. I mean,
protocols
just
are
considering the fact
typically
that
so tight.
they
Metal
got him
detectors,
shot. They
wands,
got the
bomb-sniffing
top
dogs,
of the
Secret
ear, like
Service
it with
in
that precision.
uniform and in
What if they
plain
meant to do
clothes.
that? Just
And we
such
saw as
precision,
soon as what sounded
so
like
you could get that
firecrackers rang
photo
out,
and stuff.
Secret Service
But
personnel rushing the
yeah, I mean,
president, removing him from
obviously
the area. His fist
unlikely that
goes
it
up.
was staged.
He puts his hand to his head, and you can see in the close-up
They were
photos of the
trying to kill
president,
Dave
blood
McCormick
on
too. He
his
was
face.
literally
We
saved
have
by
been
the guy
told
behind him
by
who
the
got
Trump
shot instead of
campaign,
him.
as
Oh
well
my
as the Secret
god.
Service, that the
Crazy
president is
world.
safe.
That is so true.
We're told that he was examined or is being examined by medical personnel. We don't know where he
okay,
is
so
at
this
the
is what
moment. Our
RFK
Scott
said.
McFarland, who was on the ground, reported
Yeah,
we
I mean,
saw
it
a
is just
helicopter
awful.
arriving
And the
on scene.
reaction, I mean,
Bob
imagine
Costas
if
here
he had
with us.
got
Scott
shot. The
McFarland has been
reaction to that
doing
would just
exemplary
be
work along with our
just
team
like
on the
nothing
ground.
we have
Since
ever
he
seen
can't join us
before.
just now at the moment to
Like,
reiterate Scott's reporting
I
and our
obviously don't
reporters on the
like
ground.
Trump by any
Scott
means, but
says
I
he
would
heard
way
between
rather
8 to
have
10
4
explosions,
years of
popping
him as
sounds.
president
He saw the
than
crowd
the
duck. He
reaction
hit the ground when
after
he was sitting under the bleachers. He heard this
his
popping
death if
sound.
he got
The
shot
press was
in the
under the
head
risers, most of
and
them
died.
around that area,
The
very close to the
reaction
stage.
after
They
that,
witnessed
the
the Secret Service
protests,
swarm to the
everything,
left of
that
Trump
would just
following the
be
incident, climbed
detrimental,
on top of the
I
former
believe,
president. Then
to
they
the
saw
nation. It would
helicopters
just
come
be
by.
awful.
A few
I'd
minutes
rather
later,
have
they did see
him
Trump
as
head
the
toward a
president.
motorcade. Helicopters arrive in some way. Our reporters on the ground, Olivia Rinaldi and Jake Rosen, just to
All right.
underscore what we know.
How did we
This
get
is an
from
active crime scene.
23
They were
viewers
setting
to
up tape
13 in
still,
like 2
talking to
seconds?
bystanders, witnesses,
All
blood
right, I'm gonna
seen on
check
the
for
bleachers,
updates here.
blood
No one
seen on the
anywhere. Stay
T-shirts,
here.
and pans of those leaving this rally, people being escorted
I'm not
out.
even asking for
There was a lot of
super chats.
anger,
That's when you know things are
confusion in
serious.
the air. Jake Rosen
Okay, well,
spoke to an
CNN says
emergency
one
room
person
physician
in
who was
custody
there,
after
who
attempted
says he
Trump
saw a
assassination.
man who he believes
So
was
I don't
shot
know
in the
if
head.
And
they're
Bob,
dead,
we have that video.
if
Let's play
they're
it right
alive, because
now.
now it says they are in custody.
I heard the shots. I thought it was
That's what I'm
firecrackers to
hearing at
begin with.
least.
Somebody over there was
I'm
screaming, he's been
actually
shot, he's been shot.
looking at
So I
video
made my way
here.
over. I said,
It might
I'm
be
an
the
emergency
person.
department physician.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
help
Oh,
you.
he looks
The guy
dead.
had spun around, was jammed
Yeah, there is.
between the
They
benches.
C-SPAN. It looks
He had a
like got
headshot here.
video
There was lots of
of
blood,
the
and
of
he had brain
the
matter
shooter.
there.
And
So
he's
I
in a
got him.
stretcher here. I'm not showing it on the screen, but it's on my phone.
Helicopter
He's in a
coming right
stretcher.
here.
The cops are carrying him away. I mean, they're holding his arm, so maybe he's not dead, but he looks pretty close to death. Definitely hurt. It looks like they for sure shot him.
One person.
And then
An
AP says
eyewitness
shooter
account
dead
from
and
a man
rally
who says he
attendee
is an
killed at
emergency room
Trump. So
doctor and rushed
So
into
they
help
did get
a
someone
victim
else.
who had
That
a
has been
gunshot wound
confirmed that
to the
someone else
head.
was shot.
We are also getting news
Wow,
from the
that's sad.
Associated
That
Press
is really
reporting
sad
that the
that,
shooter is
Trump is
dead.
one thing, he's
And
putting himself out there.
From
He
our
knows
affiliate,
the risk and
KDKA.
everything,
Our
but just
affiliate,
someone going to a
KDKA,
rally,
that
that's
the Butler
really
County
sad.
District Attorney told our political reporter
that
John
they
Delano that 2 people are dead.
they are
That's the
a
shooter
victim
and an
of
audience
the
member. So the
political
suspect
division and
we
everything.
referenced as already
When
being
they were
neutralized
just
to
attending
that
a
an
rally for the
audience
candidate
member.
they like.
So one
Ooh.
bystander
Yeah, no,
at that
I've
rally.
obviously
that's-
never
lost his life.
experienced anything
And
like this
former
in
President
my
Trump
life.
injured,
I'm
still
sure
trying to
that
figure out the
you guys
exact number of
haven't
those
either,
who were potentially
unless
injured
you're
beyond Trump.
whatever.
That's right.
An
That's
adult.
right. We have people on the ground, as you can
But
imagine. We're all trying
It
to
looks
get in
like Trump
contact
is
with
going to
our
be okay.
reporters.
And everyone is
Either
so
because there's so many phone calls being placed or
his
because of
team
security
says that
protocols.
he
It's
is
hard to get
fine,
signals
quote
out. They're
unquote, fine.
struggling. A lot of us, you see us texting because that is frankly
Yeah,
easier
the
than getting people
political
on the phone.
ramifications of this will just be
But
huge.
there are
If
a
you
lot of
haven't seen the
people
photo
who
already, the
went to that rally
really
there,
good one,
as you were just talking
from
about, to go
below
into a
of
rally like that,
Trump's
you go through levels of screening. So when you were
fist bump,
showing
then you have to
that
look at that.
rooftop,
You're gonna see
I
that
would assume
eventually.
that is at a distance from the rally.
RFK Jr.
That
says
was not
now is
someone who
the
was
time for
in
every American
the
who loves our country to
confines
step back
of
from
the
the
area
division,
where
renounce
the
all
rally was
violence,
taking
and
place.
unite
We
in
don't
prayer
know
for
that yet. We
President
need to
Trump
get
and
that
his
kind of
family.
context from law
I agree
enforcement.
with that for sure.
But imagine that's why our producers in the control room put up that video for everyone to see.
And like you said, from our affiliate there in the area, we are being told that 2 people are dead.
We
The
definitely
shooter, as
got
you said,
his
Margaret,
spirit.
and
I
an
don't think that
attendee of this rally. I
people
want to
are
bring in
talking
Sam
enough
Vinograd,
about
a former DHS official,
how
a contributor to CBS News. Sam,
2
where
inches,
do you
you know,
think
2
this
inches to the
investigation
right
is right
and
now? What are officials on
Donald
the
Trump
ground
is
doing?
dead. I mean, what would even happen in that case? No idea.
We may have lost Sam. Sam, can you hear me?
But
So we're just to reiterate, we have Butler County District Attorney telling KDKA political reporter John Dello,
wait,
2
what?
people,
The news is? Oh
2
my
people
God!
who are.
Sorry, I didn't know the sound of the news was playing that whole time, but now it's muted. I thought I was just talking, but I guess we'll just listen in.
Rosen and Olivia Rinaldi. Jake Rosen has provided interviews already about people leaving the rally with apparent signs of either being injured or being near people with apparent injuries, blood on their shirts, blood on their clothing. These are people who are Trump supporters attending the rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Former President Trump is reportedly in a safe space, according to his campaign. The President Biden, briefed on this, as has the Vice President.
And I should say, I believe we showed that rooftop because of the reporting we had that this was from a distance and an elevated shot.
That it may have been, yeah.
But we should say, in the environment we are in, it is not difficult to get a weapon that you can get through a metal detector. Not all weapons, as we talk about those 3D printed guns and other kind of weapons necessarily will be detected. And so we should give that caveat. But that rooftop we keep showing, I'd love to get more detail or context to that.
And no security is 100% tight. We go to these events, supporters go to support their candidates, politicians who put themselves in front of crowds. This day and age, we all know the risks. But as you said, Bob, former President Trump loved these types of events. He loves these types of events. He likes to be as close to the people as he can.
His hand in the air as he leaves stage, he's on his feet. This really has, you can see him there ducking down. Something hit his head in some way. He ducks down. It really reminds any person who has looked at history in the past 40 years of 1981 when President Ronald Reagan was shot at the Hilton Hotel just outside by John Hinckley, trying to assassinate President Reagan. Reagan ducked down into his motorcade, went ultimately to George Washington University Hospital, just a few blocks from CBS News here in Washington. And there was so much confusion in the wake of that shooting. Reagan wasn't fully aware of how he had been shot, if he had been shot. In some way was saying maybe he can just go back to the White House. Ultimately, they decided to bring Reagan to George Washington University Hospital. These decisions happen sometimes in a nanosecond that can have enormous consequences for global politics, American democracy, a presidency. We do know the President Biden, has been briefed. Former President Trump, his campaign says he is safe. And KDKA has been told by the Butler County District Attorney that the alleged attempted assailant, the shooter, is now dead. The shooter is dead along with a participant in the rally. And that coincides with what I heard from one of the attendees on the record. Congressman Mike Kelly of Pennsylvania told me just a few minutes ago on the phone, it was mayhem. People were ducking down onto the ground. There was concern that many people were being hurt. And
our Scott McFarland is outside the rally, outside where this all took place. Let's bring him back in. Scott.
Did somebody check it?
Go ahead, Scott. Can you hear me?
I hear you just fine. It's Scott McFarland in Butler County.
Scott, go ahead. You're on the air. What is the latest that you're hearing, and what can you see from where you are?
Okay, sorry for the imposition. We're having some bad cell phone signals here, and it's part of the response that we're also kind of pinned into a parking lot right now. Over the past hour, we've seen law enforcement and Secret Service just move people back further away from this scene. It is quite clearly an active investigative scene. I also noticed 2 helicopter landings, a minimum of 2, about 2 to 5 minutes after the former president was ushered off site or ushered off the stage. We know there are people in paramilitary gear, sidearms, moving through this area. Secret Service is here, so is local police. But a good chunk of this crowd, estimate hundreds of people, still remain near the site, sharing stories, some of them sharing embraces and tears, and trying to watch what happens next, even if from a distance. And everybody we're talking to has a similar story to tell, that they may have mistook it for firecrackers. It was that type of quick pop and the same decibel and the same tone and tenor of a firecracker, but everybody recognized within short order it was gunfire, and they hit the ground. We spoke to a lady who was in the front row, just steps away from the former president, who also described seeing a teardrop-style form of blood on the side of his face and a little more around his ear. And she heard him say, "Gotta get my shoes," to Secret Service, she says, before the former president was ushered off the stage. In Butler County, this is a fairgrounds. This is a farm fairgrounds where there are events that have people not of this size, but of quite a large size. There are rafters here. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of chairs. I'd estimate the crowd here as thousands today. Nearly all of them, though, are now gone.
And as you were speaking, Scott, we saw photos of former President Trump up close, and you can see what you just described and what that eyewitness described to you as almost a teardrop type of bloodstream coming down his face, yet his fist was raised. He is defiant. He is defiant. There is that photo for you to see. Yep. We are also getting more and more statements pouring in, speaking to just the heightened level of emotion right now. We're hearing from former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who, of course, her husband was attacked at their home. She wrote, "As one whose family has been the victim of political violence, I know firsthand that political violence of any kind has no place in our society. I thank God that former President Trump is safe."
There's anger, though, from the Trump side. This is a new social media post from Chris LaCivita, who is one of the top campaign advisors to Trump. He said they tried to keep Trump.
I hear nothing.
They tried to keep Trump off the ballot, and they tried to put him in jail, and now you see this. So you see a politically charged response from Chris LaCivita. The top
taking it right to where Democrats are trying to prevent it from going. You saw former Speaker Pelosi issue a statement talking about the political violence her family had experienced and condemning it in this context and saying how glad she was that former President Trump is safe. You have the expectation that the White House will soon issue some kind of statement. We know that both the vice president and the president have been briefed on what's been going on. They themselves, of course, have Secret Service detail, and you have to imagine that there's an alert level across the board right now. But one of the things that we do need to pull back, that is just incredibly incendiary at a moment of incredible sensitivity to say something like that, to allege whatever they means. There's no context to who they are who are trying to keep them off the ballot, but they tried to put him in jail, and now you see this.
Trump's top campaign advisor in many ways.
Exactly. Those words have extreme weight. But if you, just to separate topic, very much related, the language around this campaign has been about us versus the system, me versus them, that all the legal cases against Donald Trump, he claims, are politically motivated to prevent him from re-election. By alleging that there is a connection to this attempt on his life, it would escalate that. That is, Pennsylvania State Police put out a statement. Adriana, if you want to.
We have that right here. Pennsylvania State Police confirming everything that we have been reporting, that shots were fired at former President Donald Trump today during his rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. It says that they don't have an update on former President Trump's condition, but we know from the Trump campaign, from the Secret Service, both have said that the president is safe. But we also don't know what safe means. Safe could be a lot of things. We did see in the video and the photos after this incident that the president had his fist in the air, that he appeared to have some blood on the side of his face. We don't know exactly what happened, if he was grazed or if it was worse. There we have that picture. His ear there, the top of his ear is red. But like you said, Margaret, now is a time to bring down the temperature and assess what happened, ensure that everyone is safe. Already, one person who went to this rally to support their guy is dead. That's the reporting that we're getting from our affiliate KDKA. You know, I'm just thinking about who that may have been, you know, what mindset they were in as they were going to this rally. Like you said earlier, Bob, people attend these events, you know, like they follow them across the country. His supporters are so passionate, and what can change in an instant.
It's so true. And the tension in this country has been so high. There has been such a concern about domestic violent extremism and political violence. So cooling tensions, cooling tempers is what you would hope leaders would do in this dangerous moment, because this, as you're alluding to there, these are passionate people who showed up at that rally. It's hot outside. They're standing there. They went through security. They are there because they love Donald Trump. And they are now being told by the head of his campaign that there is some kind of alleged connection between what just happened to the candidate and whoever they are. In that, I'm referring there to top Trump campaign official. I want to read to you what I'm getting text from some of our reporters on the ground who were saying, Olivia Rinaldi saying there was a palpable feeling of anger towards the media after this happened. The people in the crowd turned toward them. They started shouting, telling us it's our fault. It's a very tense environment. So what law enforcement will now do is try to prevent any kind of retaliation.
Exactly. And the agency right now at the center of this, on the scene, is the Secret Service, which is conducting a live investigation. I want to bring in CBS News contributor AP Smith, who is on the phone with us, a former Secret Service official. Can you hear me?
Yes, I have.
Go ahead. What are you hearing from your former colleagues about what may have transpired? And based on your training, what are agents focused on right now?
Well, obviously, securing that scene and beginning an investigation is the utmost important, but that follows only making sure that the former president is safe, and that, you know, he's now in hopefully a medical facility where things can be looked at. So there's probably multiple things going on at the same time. It looks like, from the standpoint of what we saw, the video and the pictures so far, that the Secret Service reacted in the way that they're trained to do. The counter-assault team, which you saw, the tactical team come up on stage, they're there to cover while the agents working the president, either renders medical aid to him or evacuates him completely to get him out of harm's way. So all of that looks like it occurred in the way that it should have.
And AT, you know, your former colleagues, the Secret Service trains for this. I mean, I've done reporting at their training facility here outside of Washington, where there is there's a site that's a replica of a city where they train in cars to see if there is an attack on the president.
All right, guys. I don't know what else to say here. I mean, I mean, look at that video. Donald Trump, inches away from being dead. What would even happen in that case? I don't know. He hasn't picked a vice president yet. There wouldn't be a second, you know, person on the ticket to take over. The convention is 2 days away. Literally 2 days away. That would have to be pushed back, I assume, at least, you know, a week or so to get everything situated. And probably, I'm sure, just the delegates would decide. And there would just be a battle between the candidates. But, you know, truly just something like we have never seen in decades. And yeah, so I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you all for joining me. I don't know. I'm lost. I don't know what to do. Yeah, I mostly just feel bad for that attendee. That's so sad that a random attendee was shot. But wow, look at that ear. Yep, hey Sammy. So, I mean, I assume the convention is going to go, as planned. Um, I assume his condition isn't so bad where he can't speak or anything or can't do it like at the convention. Uh, okay. I'm gonna end this. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Um, what scares me is Trump saying fight. That makes me scared. Yeah. Yeah, Republicans are definitely going to use this against Democrats, saying that, they're behind it, and it'll probably be pretty successful. It probably will be. So thank you all for joining me, an insane situation that's unfolding. And yeah, I will see you all next time. And I'm definitely going to make a video about this probably tonight.